Alright, so welcome back to another gun build in Modern Warfare. Today we're not going to be using a shotgun turning into like a DMR, like the most overpowered close range or long range kind of weapon. Uh, Today we're actually going to be using the newer assault rifle by the time this video comes out. It's Season 4, and this is the assault rifle they've added into the Battle Pass. It's pretty easy to get. I believe it is actually the first weapon you get at around Battle Pass tier 16, I believe, or 15. So it doesn't take too long to get. We're going to essentially turn this hard-hitting battle rifle. It shoots 7.62 ammunition, which is a bit bigger than the 5.56 or the standard 5.56 for most assault rifles in this game. So it could potentially be up to 3-shot kills if you're hitting up in the chest. In hardcore, it's always going to be a 1-shot kill. In hardcore, everyone's health is set at 40% instead of normal 100. So this will always be a 1-shot kill no matter what. And it does shoot a little bit faster than AK. It looks better than AK. It's pretty much the AK or the AK-47, but better. It's just a little bit better. So we're going to go ahead and start making it into a DMR, and we're going to go ahead and start with the ammunition. Now for the ammunition, switching it from the 7.62 rounds to a 10-round magazine of 7.62 M67 or 67 ammunition. It does increase your bullet velocity a ton since it is now a faster round. It's a more hard-hitting round. Improved accuracy, because now it is turned into a DMR. You're going to need that accuracy and superior damage. So now you're able to kill people within 2 shots in core, unless you hit them in the head, and that will be, of course, an instant kill. And the weapon will be defaulted to semi-automatic. When you can look in the perks here, there is no perk or anything that can allow you to make it to where it could be a 3-burst or switch back to automatic. It will only be in semi-automatic or semi-auto mode. Just something to keep in mind. Now from here, that's really all you need to turn it into a DMR for the ammunition, but I'll actually make it more like for longer range. We're going to be going for like the barrel of the XRK Zodiac S440 or 440. It is the longest barrel. Since it is a longer barrel, it'll give you more damage range, higher bullet velocity because it's more time for the bullet to spin inside the barrel, and recoil control. Cons will be aim down sight speed because you are putting on a bigger barrel. It will be a little bit heavier, and movement speed. Again, it's a bigger barrel. It will be a little bit heavier, so I mean you would run a little bit slower. Muzzle, we're going to be throwing on the monolithic suppressor. Now this one's kind of a pain to get if you don't have all the attachments right off the bat. It is at the very bottom, obviously, but this is coming in like at the very last levels of this gun when you're leveling it up. But it is pretty good. It will give you about 7% of a damage increase. I mean, it's not a whole lot. It's about 3 to 4 extra meters. So about 12 feet if you guys are not really going by meters here. From here, so that gives you the largest damage range, the most amount of bullet velocity, and now I kind of just kitted out to being a more of a DMR deal with recoil control and all that. Optics, I would normally you would go with the sniper scope, which is set at 4.4 times zoom, or you can go with a variable zoom, which is a 3 times zoom, and it can go up to 6.1 times zoom. So it does give you a little bit extra range there, but both optics do give you an optic glint, which is any kind of light shining off your scope. It will be very visible for enemies, and you're like a big white spot that they can see, and they can easily just fire in that general area and kill you. But I would recommend going with the 4 times flip optic. Now this is just slightly lower zoomed in the sniper rifle. As you can see, it says high power 4.4 times zoom. This gives you 4 times zoom, or 4.0 times zoom. So it's just a little bit less than the sniper scope, but it does not give you the sniper glint. So you kind of have both of them. It's just a little less power. Cons being aim down sight speed, and you can flip it between being a 4 times optic to, I believe, a 2.5 times. It doesn't list it there, but that's a holographic on the front. So I would recommend using that. I would just put on like a green reticle or something there. And if you want, you can also put on the XRK Gatekeeper, which will give you aiming stability and aim walking steadiness. I do recommend using this because now it is a DMR. You don't want that weapon sway. The aiming stability, or actually the weapon sway, is when you're aiming down sights, the little bit of movement that your gun has without you actually deliberately trying to use it, it will just kind of like slowly drift to like the left or right or swing. And aiming stability makes it to where that sway is decreased a ton. And it also gives you aim walking steadiness, but you don't really need to worry about that too much since it is now a DMR. You're going to mostly stay in one spot firing, and that's essentially the build. So you got the longest range, the most amount of bolt velocity, a scope that technically gives you a sniper rifle scope, but does not give you the sniper or the glint off the sniper rifle scope, and then there's the XRK Gatekeeper. So that's what I would recommend using for the DMR build. Again, you can go into the game and change stuff around to fit how you want to play it, but this is how I'm going to be making it. It kind of looks odd. I mean, it looks cool from like the front to back, except for the 10 round magazine doesn't really look like it should fit the gun. Here it is. So we're going to go ahead and jump out of the game, or jump into a game I should say. Already got everything set up. I am using bots and stuff. They're just going to be set at recruit, more or less for target practice, so you can just kind of get the feel for the gun. Again, it is a DMR, so don't ever expect it to be really good up close or anything like that. It's meant for long range. And aiming down sight speed is not the best. I am running a cranked timer, which allows you to move faster while aiming, and gives you faster aim down sight speed as that, so I get a couple more kills in. Let's see if I can get a headshot from here, and I can show you how this stuff works. I hit him in the shoulder.
Sentry gun ready to deploy.
You see, I shot him in the head there, it killed him instantly.
Sentry gun deployed.
Oh, you got me. Okay. And again, if you want to make it to where it can go to like small ranges, just flip it like that. I'm playing on the PS4, so that would just be L3 to flip it back and forth. And again, this is essentially just a sniper rifle, or a DMR, not necessarily a sniper rifle, or marksman rifle, I guess is what it will be listed as. Without the sniper glint, you can use the scope, and it's almost just as good as a normal sniper rifle or a sniper scope.
Ready for flyover. Send recon.
Now, not every single DMR will have this kind of like scope to it. There has been some guns I've found that just don't have the scope, so a 3x or 3.25 zoom optic will just have to be your best bet. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's
UAV is out of fuel. Returning to resupply.
It's a pretty cool looking gun. I just like the fact that you don't have the sniper glint, but you also still have close to the same exact magnification to it.
Good.
And these bots are on point. I am using the primary gun though. This is a 725 decked out to be more or less a sniper.
Not easy.
Now I do have, I believe, like one of my very first gun videos is based off of the sniper rifle build for the 725. You can look at it and check it out. Obviously, it's you can see me using it now. To make that, you just use the slug round ammo conversion for it to give it the somewhat sniper rounds, I guess, in this game.
Falcon 3-0. Good copy. UAV beginning flyover.
But again, it is a one-shot kill to a good, I don't know, whatever distance that would be at. I don't think I've ever mentioned this in a video yet, but there is a kill streak that you can get, which you can call in A10 Warhogs. I believe they call it the precision airstrike in this game. When you get that kill streak and you're able to call it in, you'll have to laser designate like a certain area or mark an area for those A10s to hit. So you use these binoculars essentially marking the area. What you could do is instead of sending off those A10s and firing off at people, you can use it as a range finder. It actually does give you a range on how many meters a certain distance is, which is pretty cool.
Enemy at the forklift.
I think I found that out, or figured that stuff out a little bit early on into the beta of this game for a while back.
Enemy at the center.
Target is marked. Go for strike.
Horseman 3-3 now on station. Enemy at the forklift. UAV ready for deployment.
Ready for flyover. Sentry guy.
This is Falcon 3-0.
How did I say that gas grenade really just killed somebody? You know, there's also, you know, the other benefit of having this scope on is, you know, you can flip it again and have it at like different magnifications. So if you need it to be at more of a medium range kind of side picture, you could do that. So it's all around just better than the sniper scope without, you know, having the fallbacks of a sniper.
This is Horseman heading back for a supply. Good hunting.
So I do recommend using this if you do get the 10 round magazines unlocked for this gun. I do recommend just jumping into a hardcore shipment if it's, you know, in the playlist, and just run around with this thing, or in core really, and just start sniping people. It's a lot better. Of course, depending on the map as well.
Enemy at the center.
No matter what, it's going to be a 2-shot kill unless, you know, they have somehow more health. What we could do is like switch the stock out for something and give it the Merc foregrip to cut down on that recoil ton. You can make it shoot like that, you know, it's almost not moving at all. So if you're not going to run the aiming stability thing, if you're really trying to stretch out those ranges, this is what I would go for.
Ready for flyover.
Now normally, when you are using attachments and stuff that you're looking for to give you extra recoil control, it would say that, you know, the range foregrip is the best one for that, which is just the underbarrel. And it's just like the Merc foregrip, the one I'm using now, but it's a little bit bigger, and it says that it does give you more recoil control. This attachment, the Merc foregrip, has been buffed so many times, or stealth buffed, which is updates to certain attachments and things which you may not know about. That's the whole point of why it's called stealth, or the stealth buff. So what they do is increase the movement speed when you have it attached to your gun, so you can run a little bit faster. They made it to where that has better hip fire accuracy, which is stated, but they keep buffing that. They also made it to where that now has more recoil control than any other attachment in the game. Besides the barrels and stuff, of course. It's for the underbarrel attachments is what I'm saying.
Ready for deployment.
Coming actual. Request recon flyover.
This is Falcon 3-0. Good copy. UAV beginning flyover. Enemy at the warehouse.
So if you're ever going to use something, you know, to help out recoil control, use the Merc foregrip. Always works out.
VTOL jet ready for tasking.
Grid is marked. Go for fire.
UAV is out of fuel.
Horseman 3-1 arriving on station. Ready
Sentry
for
gun
tasking.
deployed.
You know, mounting on objects too also helps out. Here, let's see what else can I change here. I'll take off the monolithic because it only does 7% extra range. Let's throw on something to help out the recoil control. Like, I guess the compensator will work out. I'm going to intentionally kill myself here. You kind of see how much of a laser you can get. If you don't want to run the suppressor for that extra 7%, that's completely fine. I mean, it doesn't hurt your gun too much at all. If you're going to run anything else for the muzzle, the compensator is definitely the way to go.
This is Horseman 3, we're taking fire. This is Horseman, heading back for a supply. Good hunting.
So now, you can technically fire it without it moving at all.
Friendly sentry gun destroyed.
Just destroy now. So yeah, you can run the Merc foregrip, the compensator, the 4x flip optic, the Zodiac S440, I believe.
Ready for
And a 10-round DMR rounds, of course, to actually make it to where it's this conversion. And essentially, you got yourself a pretty good-looking gun. A pretty good, well,
Sentry gun deployed.
homemade DMR here. And it's also pretty good in Warzone because if you don't know, in Warzone or the Battle Royale mode, there's different types of rounds that you would use for different guns. Of course, there's the assault rifle rounds, and then there's the sniper rifle rounds, which both the DMRs and the sniper rifles will use, of course. This still technically uses assault rifle rounds, which is the most abundant ammo in that game mode. So you don't ever need to worry about you running out of ammo for it as much.
Returning to resupply.
And if you're running, what is it, fully loaded or something like that? Yeah, fully loaded, you'll have like the most amount of like stockpile ammo that you can have for like the magazines. Like right now I have the 10 rounds in my magazine. I have 55 on standby. The ammo pool, I guess. And I don't know for sure, but you could probably try using the 50 GS or the Desert Eagle or the 357 revolver, the more higher caliber rounds, and you should see, or I'll try to see anyway, if that will stockpile with your guns. Because what you could do for, let's say, the Vector, the other SMG or gun that came out in this season, it uses 45 ACP rounds. And you could have your secondary, which could be the 1911 handgun, or the M1911, and that also uses 45 ACP. So if you can have a handgun that shoots the same round as your primary, or uses that, they will actually stockpile. They'll both have the same ammo pool. So you'll have like 3 magazines worth of for your assault rifle, and how many magazines? I'm assuming 3 as well for your handgun, stacked all into one. So you don't even need to use that attachment slot like over what is it? Fully or restock or whatever the heck it was called. Let me see what it was. Yeah, fully loaded. Yeah, so fully loaded, as you can see here, it says max starting ammo. So you can get the most amount of ammo when you grab your loadout or whatever from the Warzone. So that just starts out your game with more ammo in your ammo pool. But again, you can run a handgun that has the same exact ammo, or uses the same exact rounds as your primary. Usually SMGs will work out because they're both smaller guns. They'll both go into the same exact ammo pool, so you don't really need to use that attachment. What a cool little tip there. Kill a couple more guys here on this VTOL, I guess.
Hit them.
Horseman 3-2 on station, standing by.
But usually, you know. This is a little mechanic I found out, which is, I thought was pretty cool. A little tip, so when you're playing the game. you know how to, you know, conserve a, you know, a weapon attachment, I guess. And you know, you can actually just have, you know, that thing running with all your all the other attachments stuff that you throw onto your gun, which is pretty neat. So essentially, you know, you have 6 attachments worth of, you know, their actual abilities here. It gives you. Yeah, I'm dead there. I couldn't move from the gas. So I hope you guys like the video and stuff. You can always go back in the video, learn how to build it. If you want to try more of a lasery kind of build like this, you can use the compensator and the Merc foregrip, and it'll work just fine.
This is Horseman heading back for a supply.
Or if you want to do more of the stealth build or like the longer range thing, you can run the monolithic suppressor and give it, you know, a little bit more range, by like 7% there, and get the stock to where it has aiming stability. I guess what I'm aiming down now, it does have a little bit of sway there, as you can see. It's moving out a little bit. It's not as bad because, you know, you just, you know, you can compensate for it for a little bit there, kind of like dragging it back for the sway. But I just run an attachment or something on there to where it just gets rid of that completely. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, you know, or this gun build. Again, I'm trying out different guns like SMGs and the assault rifles, of course, seeing what I can do with them, and hopefully they're pretty interesting. I do recommend go try them out. They're pretty cool. If you haven't seen my last video, I have made the Model 680 to being a slightly slower shooting DMR, or designated marksman rifle, if you're not aware of what that stands for. Which is pretty neat. Same goes for the 725. Obviously it has a sniper rifle build. You can go check that out. It's one of my way earlier videos. Again, if you guys enjoyed it, I mean, go ahead and like if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next one.